Right now, somewhere in your house, there is an animal. You bought it specialized food, you gave it a name, you let it sleep on your bed. And you have absolutely no idea that the reason it's there, the reason any of this is possible, is because of a brutal, calculated selection process that started 3 million years ago. A process where most animals were rejected, where failure didn't mean going home empty-handed. It meant extinction. Your ancestors weren't choosing animals, they were hiding from them. So how did we go from prey to the species that decided which animals lived, which ones we ate, and which ones we let sleep beside our children? The answer is a checklist. A cold, ruthless, prehistoric checklist. And by the end of this video, you will never look at your dog, your dinner, or a farm the same way again.
Stay with me to the end of this one, because the final reveal about why we never tamed lions is going to reframe something you see every single day. Subscribe and hit the bell. We do this every week, pulling the hidden code buried inside human history. Now, back to the checklist. 12,000 years ago, the first humans to look at a cannabis plant didn't see a drug. They saw rope, clothing, food, medicine. They saw a Swiss Army knife growing out of the ground. And they applied that exact same cold logic to every animal they encountered. They weren't looking for companions. They weren't looking for pets. They were looking for living multi-tools, creatures that could generate a constant stream of biological wealth. Milk, wool, labor, transport. Too aggressive? Rejected. Too slow to breed? Rejected. Too expensive to feed? Rejected. The zebra failed. The cheetah failed. The bear failed. But here's what nobody tells you about the ones that passed. Passing the checklist wasn't just about being useful. It was about solving the single most expensive problem in the history of our species. Your brain is a biological paradox. It is the smallest expensive organ you own and the most viciously hungry. 2% of your body weight. 20% of every calorie you consume. Every single day. You cannot run that machine on grass and leaves. You need fat. Dense, rich animal fat.
And 3 million years ago, getting that fat meant hunting, which meant risking your life every single morning just to think. Taming animals didn't just solve hunger, it outsourced the hunt entirely. A living cow outside your cave wasn't just food, it was a savings account. Milk every morning without a single hunt. Wool every season without a single kill. Labor every day without a single calorie burned chasing something that wanted to kill you back. The free time this created wasn't spent resting, it was spent building, raising children, teaching skills, telling stories around fires. Every civilization you have ever studied was funded by this one biological transaction. But food and labor alone weren't enough to earn a place in our inner circle. To truly live with us, an animal needed something far more specific, something written into its DNA that had to match something written into ours.
We called it the biological handshake, and it had nothing to do with size or strength or speed. It had everything to do with social architecture. The animals we chose weren't just useful, they were familiar. They understood hierarchy. They understood loyalty. They understood that survival meant playing a role inside a group and staying in it. The wolf wasn't tamed because it was strong. It was chosen because its entire social operating system matched ours. It already knew how to follow a leader. It already knew how to protect a group. It already knew that belonging to something larger than itself was the difference between surviving the night and not. We didn't teach wolves those things. We recognized them. And this is exactly why we never tamed the great predators, lions, bears, tigers. Not because they were too dangerous, but because they were competitors. They ate what we ate. To tame one, we would have had to hunt for it, burning more calories protecting it than it could ever return. So instead, we chose the grazers and the scavengers, the animals that could eat the things we couldn't, grass, scraps, insects, and convert them into the one thing our brains were screaming for: fat, protein, salt. We weren't farming animals. We were upcycling the entire landscape into fuel for the most expensive organ in the known universe. Right now, tonight, when you open your fridge at 11 p.m., you are running a 3 million-year-old program. Your eyes scan past the vegetables, past the water, past everything your doctor tells you to eat, and your hand moves, without thinking, toward the richest, densest, most calorie-loaded thing on that shelf. That isn't weakness. That is the same ancient code that built every road, every city, every civilization you have ever lived in. We didn't choose pets because we were lonely. We didn't choose livestock because we were bored. We chose every single one of them because they passed a test so ruthless, so precise, that the ones who failed it vanished from the earth entirely. Your dog passed that test. Your dinner passed that test. And somewhere 3 million years ago, so did you. We didn't domesticate animals. We just recognized the ones that were already like us. If this changed how you see the world, subscribe, like, comment, and hit the notification bell for more.